Hey guys, welcome to my channel. I'm Sherry and I love creating home decor on a budget. Today I'll be sharing with you my latest thrift haul and I'll show you how I upcycled many of those items to use in my own home or to sell in my retail space. So let's get started. This is my latest haul from Goodwill. It's actually a pretty small haul for me. I have a few items that I can tag and flip in my retail booth without having to upcycle. That includes this suede journal, which originally sold for $12.99 and I got it for $1.99. This tarnished silver gravy boat I thought was really cute with the wood handle. Got it also for $1.99. I also picked up these little votive candle holders. I thought they were cute with the little fork and spoon handles. They were $1.99 each. Found this cream and sugar set. It is from Fire King and it is this beautiful blue. And when I looked it up online, these can sell for upwards of $50. But then I realized that my creamer has a little chip in it. I don't know if that happened when I brought it home or if it was already that way, but I will go ahead and try to sell them because they are so pretty, but I probably will not make very much money because of the chip. This cute little enamel colander. It was $1.99, but it's an orange tag, and orange tags were 50% off, so I actually just got that for $1, and I'll be painting that. And then there's this big wood wagon that somebody made. It's very heavy and sturdy. It was $2.99. I'm not sure if I'm going to leave the wheels on or if I'm going to turn it into a tray perhaps. And then there is this metal, probably what was once a votive holder. There are probably little votive candles in here. And that was $1.99. I'm going to paint that and turn that into a planter. And then I have a wood paper towel holder for $2.99 and a spice rack for $2.99, and I will probably paint those and distress those in a matching color. And then there's this big thing back here with the heart. I know most people see that heart from the 90s and do not put this item in their cart, but if I think there's some way that I can cover it up or take it off, then I will consider it. And so I will either take this piece off or perhaps I will cut down these sides because the bottom is actually really cute. It has a little drawer, little place for a notepad and for a pencil. Actually, wood items are your best deal at thrift stores. You just have to look past the 1990s brown and see what it can be. I also bought this jar for 99 cents. I do save all of my glass jars, but because I use them for so many different things, I often run out. So if I see a really nice one at a good price, I will pick it up. All right, that's everything. So let's get started. The first thing you want to do before you start painting is to clean your items really well. I like to use the Awesome Spray, which is from Dollar Tree. I think it works really well, but really any kind of general household cleaner would work. Just get all that dust off because you don't want to be painting over the dust because then the paint won't stick very well.
A tip for getting a really smooth finish when using chalk paint is to mist your paintbrush every so often to keep it just slightly damp. This will help your paint to go much further, and it will also just go on glass-like smooth. Here I'm using Dixie Belle paint in kudzu green. I don't normally use Dixie Belle or other expensive brands of paint. I usually just get Waverly or Rust-Oleum paint at Walmart. But I will say that this little can of kudzu green has lasted me a very long time. So if you don't mind paying extra, I do think that the Dixie Belle paint is actually worth the money. Another tip for getting a really smooth finish is to use an artist's brush. Unless I'm painting a really large piece of furniture, I always use an artist's brush. I have so much better control, and the paint just seems to go on so much smoother. When using chalk paint, I generally apply 2 to 3 coats. When the final coat is dry, I will use sandpaper to distress the edges and other places that might have worn naturally. This can create quite a mess, so you'll want to do this on a towel or perhaps a drop cloth. For the metal candle stand, I'm using Rust-Oleum chalk paint in linen white. I'm also using a thicker brush. I'm not misting the brush because I want the paint to go on really thickly to give the candlestick some texture and to fully cover the black metal underneath. I don't think a lot of people think about painting metal, but here's a candlestick that I'm using as a plant stand that I painted white and distressed, and I think it looks great. Distressing metal is much the same as distressing wood. You may want to use a coarser grit sandpaper. I believe I was using an 80 on these two pieces. That creates a more natural, chippy look. When you finish distressing your piece, you will want to apply wax to help protect the finish. I use Minwax Paste Finishing Wax in Natural. I use this over liquid waxes because I just find that it's more economical and I feel it does just as good a job. You'll want to apply the paste with a soft cloth, putting a thin, even coat over the entire piece. I bought some small terracotta pots at Dollar Tree. They were 3 for $1. I covered them in some Waverly white wax to give them that kind of aged over time look. While I was doing this, there was a lot of dust from sanding the paper towel holder and the spice rack. I accidentally got some of the dust on the pots, but I decided that I liked the way that it looked. So I intentionally rolled the little terracotta pots around in the dust while the wax was still wet. I felt like this gave it an even more aged and rustic look. I paid $4.99 for this cabinet at Goodwill. It's from a previous haul, but since I hadn't done anything with it yet, I decided to go ahead and include it here. I'm going to remove the glass door because it's just held in with some simple clips on the back side. So it seems easier to take the glass out than to tape it off before I start painting. There we go. Just gotta be careful. I certainly have broken glass more than once in my life. I also decided to remove the 2 shelves on the inside. I'll just put one of them back so there's room for larger items inside. Before I start painting, I fill all of the screw holes with some plastic wood. Once the plastic wood or wood fill is dry, I will sand it smooth and then I will be ready to start painting. For this cabinet, I will be using Waverly chalk paint, which, as I've mentioned before, is available at Walmart in the crafts section. I am using the color Ink, which is Waverly's black paint. I applied 2 coats of the Waverly chalk paint, distressed the edges, and then applied the Minwax Paste Wax, just like I did on the previous projects. Next, I cut out a large piece of wrapping paper. This fern paper is from Dollar Tree. I pressed it into the back of the cabinet, creating creases along all four sides. I pulled it out and cut along those creases to create the perfect fit. I then applied Elmer's Craft Bond glue stick on the back, making sure that I covered every inch of that piece of wrapping paper. I then placed it back down in the back of the cabinet and smoothed out all the wrinkles. You do have a little working time if you mess up, where you can pull the paper up and readjust it before you set it down permanently. I really like the appearance of the botanical paper in contrast to the black paint. The final step was to reattach the shelf and the glass panel in the front door. I did need to drill 2 holes on either side to attach the shelf, which I touched up with some black paint. To get the enamel bowl ready to be painted, I removed the screws that held in the handles, and I used a little Goo Gone to get the sticker residue off. Before spray painting, I also like to use Goof Off on a lot of items. It really removes the greasy residue. For the colander, I used Rust-Oleum spray paint in leafy green. During the winter months, I spray paint in the garage in a small tent and then quickly bring items inside to dry. This metal plate tray had a Christmas tree design between the 2 top bars. I snapped it off with some wire snips and then used my angle grinder to remove the remaining metal stubs. Although I liked the original green paint, the angle grinder left some bare metal showing on the handles. So I repainted the entire plate tray in the Rust-Oleum spray paint leafy green. As a final step, I applied a Rust-Oleum clear coat to protect the paint and to make both items food safe. I didn't get around to finishing these 2 items, but if you're interested, I'll show how they turned out in a future video. Well, if you're still here, thank you. I mean, really, thank you for the gift of your time. I hope you learned something new, or at least were a little entertained. And if you were, could you let me know? And please hit that like button. I would also love to hear from you. So please leave me a comment. Let me know what I could do better in my future videos. I'm planning on posting once a week, and right now I'll show you what I'm planning for next week. My plan is to turn this giant green 1990s entertainment center, which I purchased at Habitat for Humanity, into a beautiful china cabinet to display my blue and white china.
So if you'd like to see that, I hope you'll come back next week. Thanks, that's all for now.